it's Caroline from Crochelina.com, and I've got an exciting episode for you today because I'm in my dining room. And why am I in my dining room? Because, as promised, I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful flower Hotpad. And whether you use it as a Hotpad or as home decoration, it's a great addition to your home. You can put a vase in the middle, you can put a bowl, you can use it as a housewarming gift, and with the same pattern, you can just stop early and make matching coasters. So in this tutorial, I'm going to show you step by step how to do the web base where the petals are built on and how to do the petals on top. And all you're going to need is a 5mm hook and some 4-ply yarn in cotton. Why cotton? Because you don't want it to melt. If you're not using it for a Hotpad, you can use anything else. So, let's get started. So here I've got the flower up close. And for this Hotpad, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 petals. And you can go bigger or smaller, but I'm going to show you just how I did this one and how you can modify it later to make it larger or smaller. So here's the back. It is a web-based structure. So first I'm going to show you how I made the white web where all the petals are stitched around, and then I'm going to show you how I do the petals. And I've got my pattern. I just drew the pattern out, and this is just the pattern for the web, and then I'm going to have another pattern for the petals which go right on top of the chain spaces. So let's get started. These are the colors I used. I've got a cream, a yellow, a coral, and a dark yellow, and they're all 100% cotton. You have to use 100% cotton because if you use anything with acrylic or nylon, it will melt when you put something hot on it. So, if you've seen any of my videos, you know that I love symbol patterns because it shows you exactly what you're doing visually. And we are going to be starting from the center and working each round like a web until we get to the outside. Okay? And I'm going to explain to you each row what we're doing, show you on the symbol pattern, and then show you step by step so that you can get some practice reading symbol patterns and you'll know exactly what to do. So for the first round, we're going to start out with magic circle, and we're going to do 6 single crochet and then slip stitch with the first stitch to end our round. So here's our magic circle. And if you haven't done so, go to my website. I've got the link below, and you can print out this pattern so you can have it next to you while you're working. 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, 3 single crochet, 4 single crochet, 5 single crochet, and 6 single crochet. And you can pull. That's what's awesome about the magic circle. That closes your hole. And then we're going to slip stitch with the first stitch to end our round. Just like that. Second round is in blue. We're going to chain 1, and then we're going to do 2 single crochet into each stitch all the way around. So there should be 6 sets of 2, and then we're going to slip stitch with the last stitch to end our round. Also, if you have no idea how to read symbol patterns, check out my video, How to Read Symbol Patterns. Gives you some good practice, 3 examples, and it's really very simple. I love it. I like it better than written patterns because you can see it visually. And it doesn't matter what language the pattern is written in. If there's a symbol pattern to go with it, then you should be all set to do that crochet project. So I've finished my second round, and I'm just going to slip stitch under the first single crochet to end my round. Now it's time for round 3. So if we look here, round 3 is going to be now in black. So this round we are going to start our webs where we're going to have our chain spaces, and each of these chain spaces is going to have a petal go into it. So first we are doing the web, which is the back of the flower, and then I'm going to show you how to do the petals inside this, which is a separate pattern. Now we're just doing the base, which is the web. So we are going to chain, single crochet into the first stitch, chain 2, and single crochet into the next stitch. So basically we're just going to single crochet into every stitch around, which should be 12, and have 12 sets of chain 2 in between each stitch. And for this round, because we want to work a petal on top as well of this round, we are going to be working in the back loop. So I'll show you. I'm going to chain 1 and I'm going to start, and I'm not going under both loops. See, there are 2. I'm going to go into the back loop, which will leave the front loop for me to do my first white petal into. Okay, so there's my first single crochet, and then chain 2, second single crochet, and chain 2, and you're just repeating this all the way around. So I've gotten to the end, and it's always good to do your last chain 2 and then count backwards and see how many sets of chain 2 you have to make sure that you have 12. So we've got 1 here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Perfect, because we're going to want 12 petals. Then we're going to slip stitch with the first stitch to end the round. And don't forget to have that chain 2 before your slip stitch so that you have that petal base. And that is round 3. Now, round 4 is going to be worked into the whole stitch. So it's just normal. And instead of doing chain 2, we're just going to do chain 3, and we're going to be working on top of the single crochets. And we're going to do that all the way around. So single crochet, chain 3, single crochet, chain 3. And you just keep going. So first we're going to start with a chain to get up to height, and then we're going to single crochet into that same stitch, and then we're going to chain 3. Now, before we go any further, I really recommend getting a hairpin or some sort of stitch marker and pushing it into your first single crochet. That's what I love about these things. You just poke it and it's stuck there, because then you know exactly where your first stitch is, and so you can go all the way around and not wonder if you went all the way around or not. So a lot less confusing. Now we've done our single crochet, chain 3, and now we're going to try and do a single crochet on top of the other single crochet. So here it is, and we will single crochet into there. Then I'm going to chain 3, find our next single crochet, and chain 3, find our next single crochet, chain 3, find your next single crochet, chain 3, and you're going to do that all the way around. So I've gotten to the end of my 4th round, and because I've got the stitch marker there, I know where I'm going to end, so I can just pop it off and slip stitch into that stitch to end my round. And that is what it looks like. In this round, it's exactly the same, except we are going to be doing chain 4 in between the single crochets. So we're going to chain and single crochet in the same stitch, and then we're going to chain 4. Find that single crochet, chain 4, single crochet, chain 4. You're going to do this all the way around. Gotten to the end, and now I'm going to slip stitch with my first single crochet to end the round. And it's always good every once in a while to make sure that you've got 12 sets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Perfect. We just did chain 4s. Now we're going to do the set with chain 5s. And this is going to be the last time we're going to be using single crochets, because then we're going to switch to half doubles. So for this round, it's going to be again single crochet, chain 5, single crochet, chain 5, all the way around. There's my single crochet, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then single crochet to the next single crochet, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then single crochet into the next single crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you're going to do this all the way around. So I've gotten to the end of this round, and I'm going to slip stitch with my first stitch, and this is what it looks like. So now we are in this black round, and we're going to start doing half double crochets. So we're going to chain 2 to get up to that height, do a half double crochet, and then we're going to chain 6 and half double crochet into each single crochet all the way around with a chain 6 in between. So I'm going to chain 2, and then I'm going to half double crochet into the same stitch, and then I'm going to chain 6. Try and keep your stitches consistent and reasonably tight. See how I'm keeping the tension here so that the stitches stay the same. I can even pull after. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you're ever unsure of how to do a stitch, you can go to my website, go to New Crocheters resource, and I've got little, 30-second videos how to do each of the stitches. And it shows the symbols as well. So it's just a quick reference whenever you need a reminder, because you don't use these stitches all the time. So you're going to do this all the way around. So I've gotten to the end of my round, and I'm going to slip stitch with my first half double crochet to close the round. And that is what it looks like. Now the next round we are going to do half double crochet, and then we're going to chain 7. So same thing, half double crochet and chain 7s. So I'm going to chain 2 first, and then half double crochet in the same place, then chain 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then find your half double crochet. It's a lot easier to see your half double crochet now. So go under there, and you need to be keeping your stitches consistent and tight, especially here. What will happen if you have too loose of a half double crochet is your petals will have a gap in between them, and you don't want that. And if you find that your stitches are too big, just switch to a smaller size hook. My size is 5mm. Maybe you need to use a 4.25mm. So that's what it looks like, and you're going to go all the way around. So I got to the end of my round. I'm going to slip stitch to end. And that is what this round looks like. You can see the web is getting bigger, and the holes are also getting bigger. Especially now that we've started using half double crochets instead of single crochets. Now for the last 2 rounds, we're going to be using double crochets. So it's going to be double crochet, chain 8, double crochet, chain 8, double crochet, chain 8, all the way around. So I'm going to chain 3 to get up tight, and double crochet, and then chain 8. So we're going to do a double crochet on top of the half double crochet. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Double crochet, and after you finish your stitch, just to keep them tight and consistent, you can pull on it a little bit so it won't be too loose. So you're going to do that all the way around, and I'll see you at the end. So here I am at the end of the round. I'm going to slip stitch to end my round. And this is what it looks like. Okay, so for our last round, it's going to be a double crochet and a chain 9 all the way around. And that'll be the last one for our web for this Hotpad. So let's do that. I'm going to chain 3 and double crochet into the same stitch. And then we're going to chain 9. Then double crochet. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And you're going to do that all the way around, and I will see you at the end. So I've finished my last round, and hey, you're ready for Halloween. Need a web? Or you're ready to do your Hotpad. So I'm just going to slip stitch with my first stitch to end my round. It looks great. And you can just cut your end. And you are ready to start doing petals. So here we have our web, and for our first round of petals we are going to be doing it in the front loops of the stitches that we skipped earlier. So let's look at the pattern. Don't forget you can print this out by going to the website and the link below. You can see I put a triangle where we're starting, and then you're going to chain 2, double crochet, chain 2, and slip stitch into that same stitch. And then you're going to slip stitch into the next stitch and repeat that petal again. And then slip stitch into the next stitch and repeat that petal again. You're going to do that all the way around until you have 12 petals. And I'm doing it in white. And this is what we're going to be working on, this first petal part. Okay, so let's get started. First of all, it's a good idea to count how many stitches you have. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Alright, so I'm going to attach my yarn with a slip stitch, and then I'm going to chain 2, and then I'm going to double crochet in the same stitch, chain 2, and slip stitch into the same stitch. So we've done one petal. Now we're going to go over to the next stitch. Okay, and I'm going to slip stitch over. Now I'm ready, and as you can see I'm folding it over so that I can get to the stitch easier. Then I'm going to chain 2 and double crochet, chain 2, and slip stitch into the same stitch, and then I'm going to slip stitch into the next stitch so I can do my next petal. I'm going to show you one more time, and then you're going to do that all the way around. So chain 2, double crochet, chain 2, and double, what am I saying? Chain 2 and slip stitch. So that's what it's looking like. So you're going to do that all the way around. So I've done my last petal, and I've counted them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and I'm just going to slip stitch to end my round. There you go. And if you have 11, nobody's gonna notice. Don't beat yourself up. This isn't important, how many you have in your first row. When you start getting to the ones out, you want them all to be the same so that you'll have the petals going into each other, smaller to bigger. So you want 12 on these, but the first one, if you end up with 11, I won't tell anyone. Okay, so now we're going to do round 2. And this time I'm going to use this color. Why not? So I've cut my yarn, and now we're getting ready to work in our chain 2 spaces. And if it helps, just pull your tails back or sew them in right now for the white part. So for round 2,
what we're going to do is we're going to single crochet, chain, 2 double crochet, chain, and single crochet into each chain 2 space all the way around and part of the web. So what's the tricky thing here? You want to make sure that you are doing your petals into the lowest web part. Otherwise you might skip into another web and make things a little bit messy. So that's the only thing that's going to be a little tricky. So how do you find it? Just push the petals back and your first chain space will be right here. And you're just going to attach your yarn with a slip stitch. And then we're going to single crochet. Then we're going to chain. Going to do 2 double crochets, 1 and 2. Then we're going to chain. Then we're going to do a single crochet. And there's 1 petal. And now we're not going to slip stitch over, we're going to single crochet over into the next chain space. So here's 1 chain space, here's the next chain space, see? So we're just going to, like this, and do a single crochet, chain, and then do 2 double crochets, chain, and single crochet. Just like that. So let's do 1 more and then I'll have you meet me on the other side. So again, sometimes you have to pull your stitches apart so you can see where's your single crochet in the chain space. So there it is. Going to single crochet, chain, do 2 double crochets, and a chain, and then a single crochet. And that's what the petals are looking like. And you're going to do that all the way around, and I'll meet you at the other side. So I finished my second set of petals, and this is my last petal, and I counted, there are 12, and I'm just going to slip stitch with the first single crochet that we did to end the petal round. Now I'm just going to go to my web and find the next chain space, which is this one, the closest one, and I'm going to single crochet into that chain space, and then we're going to start our next set of petals. And let me show you the pattern. So for our third petals, which is here, we're going to single crochet, chain, do 4 double crochet, chain, and single crochet into the same chain space, and then we're going to move on to the next one and repeat, repeat, repeat all the way around till we have 12 petals. So all we're doing now is we just added 2 double crochet to each chain space. So I did my single crochet already and my chain, and now I'm going to do my 4 double crochet. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, a chain, and a single crochet. And that's how you do a petal. I'll do it one more time, and then you can meet me all the way on the other side. So I did a single crochet, chain, and then I'm going to do 4 double crochet. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a chain, and then a single crochet. And that's what it looks like. And you're going to do that all the way around, and I'll meet you at the other side. So I finished my last set of petals, and I'm going to slip stitch with my first single crochet to end this round. Alright, and I'm going to do the next round. So this is petal number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's going to be the same thing, except we're adding another 2 double crochets. So single crochet, chain, 6 double crochet, chain, and single crochet for each petal all the way around. So I'm just going to look at my web and find the next chain space behind it and do my single crochet, chain, and do my 6 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Chain and a single crochet. And then I'm going to single crochet into the next. And this is what the petal looks like. And you're going to do that all the way around. So I'll see you at the other end. So I finished the last petal, and I'm going to slip stitch with the first single crochet to finish my round. And I'm going to cut my yarn and switch colors. Of course, you don't have to switch colors. You can do whatever colors you want. You can switch colors every time you do a petal. It's up to you. So I'm going to switch to my peach, or coral. So let's see, we've done 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we're on the 5th row, and the 5th row is a little bit different. What we're going to do is we're going to single crochet and do 2 chains, and then we're going to do 8 So the 5th petals are going to be a little bit different, because instead of doing double crochets, we're going to be doing triple crochets. And we're going to start with single crochet, chain 2, because a triple crochet is higher than a double crochet. And then we're going to do 8 of those, and then 2 chains and a single crochet, and that's going to be what each petal is going to be. So I'll show you how to do one. Now, it doesn't matter where you attach your yarn, but I like to find my double. See, all the webs here are just single. This is where I started my rounds, and I just attach it there with a slip stitch. Okay, and then I'm going to do my single crochet, my chain 2, and a triple crochet. So you wrap twice, and you go into the chain, you remove 2, you remove 2, and then you remove 2. See, it's a higher stitch. So we're going to do another 7 of those. There's 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. Then I'm going to chain 2 and single crochet in the same chain space to make the petal. Then I'm going to single crochet into the next chain space. It's easier to see the chain spaces now. And do my next petal. So I'm going to continue doing that, and I'll see you on the other side. Here I am at the end of my round, so I'm going to slip stitch with the first single crochet. Okay, and now I'm going to single crochet into the next web chain space. Let's look at the pattern. So we just finished this round, and we're going to do this one next. So all we're doing is we're adding another 2 triple crochet. So instead of 8, now there will be 10. So we're going to single crochet, chain 2, 10 triple crochet, chain 2, and single crochet in the same chain space. And we're going to do that for each of the chain spaces all the way around. So I'm going to show you how to do one of them, and then you can do the rest all the way around. So I did my single crochet, and now I did a chain 2, and we're going to do 10 triple crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I'm going to chain 2 and do my single crochet in the same chain space, and there's my first petal. I'm going to single crochet into the next chain space and then repeat that again all the way around. So I'm going to see you at the other side. I've gotten to the end of the round again. This is what it looks like. And again, I'm going to slip stitch with my first single crochet to end my round. And then I'm going to cut my yarn because I'm going to switch colors again. And this time I'm going to use yellow. Let's look at the pattern here. So it looks like we have 3 more petals because we have 3 more chain spaces. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, 3. So we're right here, and it's also going to be triple crochet again, except this time we're going to have 12 triple crochet. So it's going to be a single crochet, chain 2, 12 triple crochet, chain 2, and a single crochet for each petal all the way around. So I'm going to attach my yarn into the closest chain space again, and I'm going to single crochet, chain 2, and then I'm going to do my 12 triple crochets. I'll show you how to do one of these petals, and then you can do the rest all the way around because it's just going to be a repeat. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Then I'm going to chain 2 and single crochet into the same chain space. Then I'm going to go and single crochet into the next chain space, and that will be the start of my next petal. But this is what the petal looks like. And I want you to do that all the way around, and I'll meet you at the other side. So this is what it looks like, and I'm at the end of this round. And I'm going to slip stitch with my first single crochet to end the round. And I'm actually going to see, I've got 2 more chain spaces left, so that means 2 more petals. I'm going to switch right now to white because I'm looking at my yarn and I might not have enough to do 2 more rows. But that's okay. I'll adapt. I'll just have a white petal between my 2 yellows. So I'm just going to attach my white yarn. And then do a single crochet, and then we can look at the pattern and see what we're doing for this second to last petal. So here we are, and now we're doing what I call quadruple double crochets. Let's see, no, so we have double crochet, triple crochet, quadruple crochet, whatever it is, you'll see what I'm talking about. We're going to do a single crochet, chain 3, and then we're going to do 14 quadruple crochets, and then chain 3 and a single crochet, and that's going to be our petal. So I'm going to show you how to do the one of those, and then you can do the rest all by yourself. So I've already done my single crochet, and I'm going to chain 3. And then, so instead of wrapping twice, which is what we just did for our triple crochets, we're going to wrap 3 times. And then we're going to do the same thing where we pull our yarn through and we remove 2, and then we wrap and remove 2, and then we wrap and remove 2, and we wrap and remove 2. And that's what it looks like. You can shift it over. 1, 2, 3. Let's do it again. We remove 2, and then we remove 2, then we remove 2, and we remove 2. So it takes a little bit of time to do this stitch, but the main thing is just to try and keep your stitches consistent, and the easiest way to do that, and the best tip, is to keep the loops all the same size as you're going through. So see, the distance between my hook and the yarn is always the same. Make the same loops, and it just with practice, you get really consistent stitches that way. And we're doing 14 of these. And then I'm going to chain 3 and single crochet in the same spot. And this is what the petal looks like. Then I'll single crochet into the next chain space, and that's going to be the start of my next, move this over, single crochet of my next petal. So this is what it looks like, and you're going to do that all the way around, and I'll meet you at the other side. So here's what it looks like. I finished my second to last petal, and I ended with a slip stitch, and I cut my yarn. And I'm going to switch colors and do my yellow for my last petal. So let's look at the pattern and see what the last petal is going to be. I've got a single crochet, chain 3, and 16 quadruple double crochets, quadruple crochets, yeah, same thing we did last row. Chain 3 and a single crochet, and that's going to be our petal, and we're going to do that all the way around. And do I really need to show you? I guess I'll show you one more time. Just cut this. I'll attach it to my last chain space. So there's my single crochet, chain 3, and we wrap 3 times, and then we do 16 quadruple crochets. So this is what the petal looks like. We've done single crochet, chain 3, 16 quadruple crochets, chain 3, and a single crochet. Then I'm going to find my next chain space and do it again. So I want you to do that, and I'll meet you all the way on the other side, and that will be it. And I'll show you how to deal with your ends. Here we are. I've finished my last petal, and this is what it looks like, and I think I like this color scheme better than the first one. Now I'm going to show you what to do with all of your ends. So I've got a set of needles. I'll put the link of where you can get these below, and they're blunt, different sized needles with big holes so that you can fit your yarn through. And all I do is, for example, here's an end, okay? I'm going to stick it through, and I'm going to run it through the petals. That's the easiest way to secure it. If it's just decorative, you need to go through it just one time, like this. And then you pull it through. If you're making this into some sort of little carpet where it's going to be, or if it's going to be washed and dried a lot, you might want to go backwards. Make it more secure. So when you've done it twice, snip it. And you can do that with your ends. And this is what the back will look like. Same thing if you're doing the back. Say I'm doing white, I will just kind of find some stitches to go under, which is why it's important to have a blunt needle. And go under the backs of the petals. Does it matter which ones? No, it does not. Just like that. Then you can. So, what if you just want to make little round coasters? Well, all you need to do is the first 4 petals will give you a nice wide coaster. And you can choose whatever colors you like. And if you're doing the first 4 petals, then all you have to do for the web is 1, 2, 3 of these chain spaces, because the first petal was built on this round, not this one. So 1, 2, 3 of the chain space rows So if we're talking about rounds 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 5th round is where you would stop, and then you'd start building your petals until you ran out of chain spaces, and that would give you a coaster. Now what if you wanted to make this even bigger? Well, for that I'm going to have to go a little bit into how I designed this flower pattern. There are two major ways of doing a flower. Either you do it in the round like this, or you do a long strip and you wrap it like when you're making a rose. And some people will do a full back stitch. Instead of doing a web, they'll just do a large round where you're only working in the backs of the stitches, and you will have a large circular work with little ridges, and then you build your petals off of that. But in my opinion, that wastes a lot of yarn, especially if it's just going to be decorative or a pot holder. You don't need to have a closed back. If you wanted something like a purse, then it might not be a bad idea to have a closed back if you don't like sewing. So that was my thought process behind the web. So why is it that I start with 2 chains and they keep getting bigger and bigger? Well, as you move out of the flower, the diameter is getting bigger and bigger. So you need to give it some more space. And I find that just adding 1 chain will give it enough space to grow flat. And that's what I've done, just 1 chain for every row. Now why did I go from single crochets to half double crochets and then double crochets for my web? Well, that has to do with the petals. So if we look at the petals, we're going to ignore the first one because this was done in the front loops. Let's just look at the chain spaces. So right here, these are all double crochet, double crochet, double crochet. So let's see our web pattern and our flower pattern. We have double crochet, double crochet, double crochet. So 3 petals with double crochet, and then we start with a triple crochet. So if I have 3 rows of double crochet, why is it that I have 4 rows of single crochet? Well, that's because you don't want to have a real large gap between your switching to your triple crochet and your double crochet. If I had switched right here in this chain space to a half double crochet, there would have been a large gap and you would have seen it like this, because it would have been like adding an extra 2 chains. So anytime you're switching from a certain height of a flower to another height, you need to keep the chains the same, the chain height, which is my single crochet. So as soon as I got 1 level over, so now it's triple crochet, then I was able to increase to the half double crochets, because the petal now is larger, right? It's taller, so it has enough space for the extra height. These don't, because double crochets don't have as much height. So that's why I switched for 2 rows to do the half double crochet. So here I had single crochet here, and then I had a half double crochet, and then here I had another half double crochet, even though I'm switching here. So you just have to be careful to give yourself the right amount of height and give yourself some buffer. So what does this mean if you're going to increase your petals? Well, 1, I would increase the chains by 1. And you can always, to make it simple, just keep with the double crochets and the chains, just adding 1 more chain, 1 more chain. And then for the petals, you saw I was just increasing by 2 stitches, regardless of height. Each row has got just an added 2 stitches. You could just continue with the quadruple crochets and each row adding another 2 stitches. And that's because you're increasing by 1 chain, and 1 chain is about 2 stitches if it's stretched. So that gives you enough space. So you could just keep going out that way as much as you'd like. Also, another thing you can do if you want a large flower, if you don't want to use 4-ply, use 5-ply. Use 6-ply. You can have a seriously bulky flower. Use a large hook. I used a 5mm hook with 4-ply. You can use a 9mm hook with 5-ply. That'll give you a much larger flower, which could be used as carpet or a welcome mat or something. So something to think about. Also, some ideas for other things you can use this flower for. If you've got a boring old pillow, you can make a flower and you can sew this on to the pillow and make it into something new. If you made a little flower, you could sew it around almost all the way and make it a coin purse. If you're good at sewing, you could always turn this whole thing, make 2 of these, put them face to face with circular fabric lining. So just sew on a circular fabric here on the back and on the other side, and then just stitch the petals together all the way around, leaving an opening for your to put stuff into, and then just make a little handle out of double crochet to have yourself a nice looking flower purse. Gosh, there's so many things you can do with flowers. Let me know what you come up with.
Whew, that was hot. I hope you enjoyed this video tutorial, and check out my website so you can print out all the patterns. If you like this tutorial, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, because next time I'm going to show you how to do 2 of my favorite flower open work petal-like crochet patterns. And you can use them for all sorts of things. So I'm really excited, and I'll see you next time.